Hello, Dental Speaker Institute, and welcome. I am really excited to be able to share with you that we have a new sponsoring partner for our upcoming Jumpstart 2022 meeting. And this is Sean and Shawnee, and they'll introduce themselves here in just a minute. And they're with Zana. And I am super excited about Zana, which is a ultrasonic toothbrush. We're going to tell you a little bit more about and why it matters to you and why it matters to the dental audiences and the clients you work with. They have something very special that is different than anything else you're going to find out there. So I'm really excited to be able to share this with you guys today. So let's get started by getting to know our newest members of our DSI family. So Sean and Shawnee, and I think it's so fun that your names, if we remember one of your names, we remember both.
Exactly.
Let's start with you, Sean. Tell us who you are, like a high level, like how did you get to being the toothbrush guy?
Well, aside from the fact that when I was 4 or 5, I had a toothbrush collection. Now, what that literally means is I didn't let my family throw away their toothbrushes, and then I would keep them. So it was like a used toothbrush collection, which is kind of gross. But that is a true story. And then my dad, ironically, he was a marketing representative or executive at M&M Mars. So like think candy company, think causing cavities. And then he started a dental supply company. So I remember just as a 14-year-old going to trade shows, and I was shocked, first of all, just like realizing how much candy was at a dental trade show. But just at my disposal were these manual toothbrushes. And here I was, and I was trying to offer practices manual toothbrushes. And it didn't like mean much to me. You know, I wanted to be able to offer them something more because I realized what kept dentists up at night wasn't saving 15 cents on a manual toothbrush. It was which patients are coming back and how are they consistently growing their practice and delivering the best care. So here I was, I found myself in this space with some really awesome dental, supplies and everything, and realized like, what could we do that could actually make a really big difference, not just to the practice, but also to patients. And that's really how I came up with Zana.
Oh, super smart. That's so fun. And before we're done today, I want to know why you collected those manual toothbrushes and what you were doing. We'll circle back to that. That's a great story. Shawnee, how about you? I mean, some of us might already know Shawnee, I bet, in our group.
Well, thank you for having us, Vanessa. So I went to hygiene school here in Arizona 8 years ago now. And I went into clinical hygiene, I had been in dentistry since right out of high school, but always knowing that I loved the business side of dentistry. So I ended up venturing out and worked as a manufacturer rep for Young. I even did sales for Solution Reach. So I was just kind of experiencing other things outside of clinical. And when I met Sean, I was so happy about the concept of the program because I was actually having this issue that Zana solves day in and day out with my patients. And basically, every time I would recommend an electric toothbrush to my patients, because of course I knew that that's what was the best thing for them to brush with, I felt so bad that the practice I was at was actually like ripping them off because they could get the same brush on Amazon or Costco for way cheaper. And so I would tell my patients, I recommend the brush, but don't even buy it from our practice. And I don't know, it didn't feel right. And so we'll obviously tell you guys more about Zana, but when I found out that this was going to alleviate that, it was going to be a win for the patients and a win for the practice, it just makes sense. And ever since then, I've met so many hygienists and even dentists who are like, they have the same problem and they say the same thing, like, we're not even carrying electric toothbrushes anymore because of that exact reason. So it's just super exciting for me that I got to align, helping patients and then also working outside of clinical just to really impact the profession as a whole.
I love that. I think for both of you, what I hear is there was like an inspired friction. There was something internally that like just didn't sit right. And you reached into a solution. Tell us more about that solution. Can we wait to talk about the toothbrush itself in a minute? I'm
Totally.
so excited to share how it works with Zana.
Well, so I realized like the electric toothbrush model as it sits is just broken. And it's kind of exactly what Shawnee alluded to. Now, that's why it's broken for the patient, because it's not really good value. But how it's broken for the practice is like, why does a practice need to spend so much money upfront to purchase all these brushes that they don't really get any credit for? And then all they're doing is selling brushes to make like $10 per brush. Like it just, the numbers don't even make sense. So we are an electric toothbrush company, and you can't see it, but it's on Shawnee's shirt. We are telling people to actually stop selling electric toothbrushes. So it always gets people to wonder like, well, you have electric toothbrushes, but why are you telling people to stop selling? And that's because we think there's a better way. And that's why we created Zana. So instead of selling electric toothbrushes, what you do is you get to offer your patients a chance to enroll in your own in-office care program that's called Care Beyond the Chair. And when they do, they get our Zana brush and they get free replacement heads every time they come back for routine hygiene visits.
That is so cool.
And you forgot some people's favorite part. Oh, this one actually doesn't have an imprint on it, but we actually private label the Zana brush with the practice information. So typically it's practice name, phone number, and website, so that the office is the one staying front and center, not the actual brand of the brush. We want the practice to get all of the credit, and it just really creates that loyalty. So the patient feels like I belong to this practice. So I feel like that was just something that I don't know, people get so excited about seeing their own information, their own name on a brush, and it just really captures that patient loyalty.
I love that. Most of us, I think, in dental have tried different toothbrushes, all different kinds of toothbrushes over the years. And one thing for me always has been the pain with the electronic toothbrush is that replacement head. And even some other programs where you have to like order them and have them sent to you. I just love this so basically what I'm hearing is from my doctor, I would purchase as a patient, I would purchase the Z Sonic Pro. And then in that box, and can you show us, you have the box that you have what shows inside that we get. And so inside, when we buy that, we get 2 heads, right? So you get the unit, and then you have awesome and 2 heads. And so then when I go back for my cleaning as a patient, say it's every 6 months or more frequently, maybe, or less. But whenever I go back in, then I just have to ask my hygienist for my replacement heads, or they just will give them to me. I don't have to pay anything additional, I think is what I'm hearing you say. It's just for life. Right there, I'm sold.
Yep.
I've been with the same dentist for almost 20 years. Like that would be so easy. I just am so excited about this. So basically what happens then is the practice will receive a number of toothbrushes from you. Walk us through that, how that works for the consultants and speakers who'd want to share this with the practices they consult in. What are the details? How does it work?
So we will private label 6 brushes to start. We send them to the practice, and the practice right away has the ability to start enrolling patients into Care Beyond the Chair, which is the in-office care program. And as soon as 3 patients have enrolled, we automatically know to start imprinting 6 more private label brushes for the practice. So the practice never runs out. They don't have to place orders. They don't have to worry about inventory. We were actually just talking to a practice a couple weeks ago, and they said they bought, was it 8, how many cases of Sonicares?
I think it was 9 or 10 cases.
Yeah, just up front. And I mean, I think I calculated it at the time, but like practices don't want to have to pay for inventory and then just wait for, patients to enroll. So we do all of that for them. It's not another, place they have to worry about ordering or anything like that. So it's super easy for the practice. It's even better for the patient because they forget to buy their brush heads. Like my patients all the time, I would see them, let's just say it's an every 3-month patient, and every 3 months they'd say, oh, I forgot, or, oh, I was at Costco and I didn't remember to buy my replacement heads, or they're so expensive. And so then they're not replacing them, and it's doing everyone a disservice because their oral hygiene is suffering. So yeah, it's super exciting to make it a win-win for both practice and patient.
This is such a great internal marketing program. Really, ultimately, as you say, every time we pick up the brush, then we're reminded of one more reason that we love our dentist. So love that. Tell us a little bit more about the brush.
So when I first met Sean, and he said, I have a premium sonic toothbrush and I want you to try it. And I'm like rolling my eyes like, all right, I've tried a million brushes. I loved Sonicare, and not that I still think Sonicare is a great brush, but I just said, I'm not going to switch, but I'll try your brush. And so I loved it. I mean, honestly, it is equivalent to the Sonicare Diamond Clean. I mean, my favorite part is that it lasts, like the one charge can last up to 3 months. So the battery life is amazing. 5 different modes. I mean, what else do you want to say about the brush? Like everybody loves it who tries it, honestly.
It has a really cool sound. My favorite mode is sensitive. What's your favorite mode?
Ooh, mine's polish.
Yeah, I love polish. Polish is the one that if you've just charged it, it feels like it's blowing your teeth off. No, it's so strong. But yeah, I don't know. Some of our friends really love the massage setting. So it really is your preference.
Do you have any tips on use of the brush? I mean, as far as any specifics that we need to know if we were to have our own, if we wanted to get one from our dentist and try it out. Basically, just brush your teeth.
I mean, brushing your teeth is the place to start for sure. But you use it the same as you would any electric toothbrush, which I mean, a lot of patients don't really understand that. So
there's no this motion.
No, you're just doing the typical 45-degree angle. There is a 2-minute quad timer. So every 30 seconds, it's going to prompt you to switch quadrants. And of course, you want to replace the brush heads 4 times a year. So every 3 months, which is, all of that standard.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. It is a really quality brush. I'm super excited about mine. And I am a tea drinker, and I worry about like staining. And what I notice is that when I'm done brushing, my teeth look whiter. So there's that on top of everything else that's so wonderful about this. Is there anything we haven't talked about that we should mention for those who are listening, primarily speakers and consultants who might want to take this to the practices that they're working with or to their audiences? Is there anything important we haven't mentioned?
Yeah, so I love, like, the brush is first rate. Like, people that try the brush love the brush, but with Zana, like, we always had that question, like, what if a brush could be more than a brush?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I don't always think dental practices or dentists know the value of like their brand or what that imprint is and how valuable that is in front of their patients for like 5 to 7 years in the privacy of their own home, just sitting on their countertop. So I liken it to my story of just like Tom's shoes. It's like all of a sudden, all across the country on college campuses, there are these really awkward looking shoes and everyone was wearing them. And there was this little flag on them, which was the flag of Argentina. And people connected to the mission of Tom's and what they were doing. And they weren't just shoes, they meant more than that. So it's like when the imprint is on the brush, it's not just an imprint, it's a symbol of the practice's care, the symbol of the patient or the dentist's care for the patient. So that's why we wanted this to be more than a brush. We want it to be a symbol of care so that every single time your patient's brushing with it, they can feel like family, they can feel like they belong, and it can just increase lifetime value, all these things. So it's kind of like, I know educators are always trying to teach and educate and help dentists like grow their practice and kind of see things in the right perspective. And that's, I guess, the thing I would say is like, it's not just a brush. It's a great brush, but it's more than a brush. It really is a symbol of care.
Oh, fabulous. Shawnee, were you gonna?
Yeah, so I just love the fact that it incentivizes patients to come back for their hygiene visits and stay on time for them, because when they realize, hey, I just enrolled in my office care program and they're saving me $50 a month because that's the value of the replacement
Or a
heads,
year.
or sorry, a year. Thank you, Sean. They get excited. Like my patients, their favorite part of the appointment is the free goodie bag, like every time. And so the fact that we're giving them replacement heads is just, it's just such a value add, and it helps to add to the hygiene department. And in turn, it helps with just gum disease prevention. And we have practices that are either perio offices or just offices that are doing like bigger cases and things like that, who are actually rolling the program into their specific treatment so that the patient is coming back in and that they can stay on top of things, especially like I said, with perio. So it's good for the business side of things. And it's also just great. Like clinically, I want hygienists to get excited about this, because like we all know the worst thing is when a patient, like a no-show happens or a last minute cancellation. Like everybody is scrambling to figure out how they're going to fill the schedule. And if we know, like we have patients that know that we value them and they value us and they show up for their appointments, we're reducing no-shows, we're helping treat gum disease. And it's just amazing.
There's no downside.
No.
I mean, really what I'm hearing is that like, there's just, it increases the brand, it improves the relationship, solidifies the relationship. The patient's more likely to have healthier teeth. I mean, there's just like for every angle you look at it, it's easy for the dental practice. And you're absolutely right. The goodie bag is the best part. I can think about when my husband comes home from his dental hygiene appointment. It's always a discussion about what did he get in his bag.
Right?
Okay, so you can be an adult, practically old enough to be grandparents, and still be excited about the goodie bag.
Oh yeah.
We don't grow out of that. Oh,
Mm.
I want to acknowledge that this is a really amazing service that you're offering to dentistry. Thank you for bringing that to us. I'm also want to encourage our listeners to reach out for more information. So the website is myzana, myzana.com. And I'll put the links in a post down below, myzana.com. And the email, I have info@myzana.com. Is that the best email for you guys to find out more information and get in contact with Sean and Shawnee? We also have a web listing for them on our Dental Speaker Institute site with a little bit more information. I'll put that link in there as well. We're looking so forward to seeing you guys at Jumpstart in January.
Yeah, we're so excited.
We really are too. And for those, the rest of you, I'll clue you into that we're practically neighbors. We're fellow Southeast Valley of the Sun neighbors. And so it's really fun to be able to partner with people who are practically neighbors too. So thank you so much for your support of dental speaker education. We really appreciate Zana. I want to encourage everyone to reach out, find out more, especially if you feel like the practices that you consult with would benefit from this type of I call it an internal marketing program. Would that be the appropriate? I mean, really, it's it's an internal marketing. That's not my bag of tricks, but I'm thinking that's what we call this. So if you think feel free to jump in.
I was just going to say, we also have a robust affiliate program set up that if they're interested in learning about, speakers love sharing the difference. If you believe in what the difference that Zana makes, there's also just a way to be compensated. It's just a side thing for those that believe in Zana. So.
Oh, that's very cool. That's great to know. Awesome. Well, there's just so many reasons to reach out and find out more. So thank you guys for being here today. We look forward to spending time with you in January, and certainly before. I would encourage our members to reach out and find out more about how MyZana can help their practices or the practices they consult with. So until next time, everyone be well, and we'll see you in January. Jumpstart January 5th is our pre-conference afternoon networking session. So our meeting is January 6th through 8th right here in the Phoenix area. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.